All right, what is up, y'all? I got a little spare time before work today, so I'm gonna make a video. You got a wind going crazy out here. Car keeps shaking. But what I want to talk about today, is Anderson Silva, and I came up with something. I don't think I've ever heard this anywhere. Or at least not about Anderson Silva. I might have heard this expression in something because it sounds too good. Sounds too good for me to be the first one to ever say it. But I think I'm going to title this video Anderson Silva, the Master of Manipulation. And give a little context into what I'm talking about. This all got inspired today. I think it was on Facebook, and I saw a post where it was replaying the knockout that Chris Weidman got on Anderson Silva. I don't know. We might be at like an anniversary. Like today might be so many years since that knockout. And going through the comments, there's so many people. People took different approaches, but so many people were calling it showboating what Anderson Silva did. And if you're not familiar with the fight that I'm talking about, in the moment of the knockout, what's going on, and a couple moments leading before it, Anderson Silva's kind of just standing around with his hands down and not doing a lot. He's not quite taunting, but he sort of is. Like at one point, Weidman throws like a head kick and Anderson slips it, and he like kind of looks up and around a little bit. Stuff like that. In the actual exchange where he gets knocked out, Anderson Silva's hands are down and he's slipping and he keeps leaning back, and eventually he's too far leaned back. He has nowhere to go, and Weidman had taken a step forward. He did exactly what he should have done. So that one punch connects and lands on his chin, and that was it. He was done. I can see why we're going to call that showboating, but I started typing a reply to the comments as a whole, and I just couldn't come up with enough. I feel like there's too many words involved for me to just write it out. And so here I am making a video. What I mean when I say master of manipulation is Anderson Silva was the best and still is the best at making his opponent do things, controlling what the opponent does. Not in the sense of like if you were grappling and you're on top of them, so you're controlling your opponent and keeping them down. In the sense of he's manipulating their mind so they are moving in certain manners that he wants them to, or to where it's going to create a favorable situation for Anderson himself. I've never seen anyone break this down like this. So if you have, please share with me who they are or the video or what, because I would love to get with some like-minded people that see fighting in this aspect. What I mean by that is we don't ever talk about so much of the mind in fighting and communication. So for example, if you hit a fighter and you land a clean shot and they're rattled and they start stumbling, that stumbling is communication. It is telling you that they are I want to say wounded, you know what I mean? Vulnerable might be a better word. So their opponent's probably going to step on it and really press them and try to finish the fight right there. Not many people see that as communication, but that is nonverbal communication, and 90% or even more in the world of communication is nonverbal. Only 10% of communication is us actually speaking. I am giving you more communication by like my facial expressions, if I'm mad, if I'm happy, than I am with my actual words. We just as a species or as a society don't talk about it a lot, and that's, I'm not saying like, I'm saying that's not a good thing that we don't talk about it, but I'm not trying to be negative by saying, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to talk about whatever we talk about. This just sort of happens. Anderson Whether he intently does this or not, I don't know. Like, I would have to have a conversation with him, and I would love to, but I've never had that opportunity. One thing I connected with my fighting and with watching Anderson Silva, he's distinctively known for, like, he'll walk to the back of the cage and leave his back up against the cage and have his hands down, and he'll fight from there. What is impressive about that type of situation, most fighters dream of having their opponent pressed up against the back of the cage to where they won't go anywhere and they're able to just throw shots. Anderson is literally putting himself in that and saying, come here, let's fight right here in this situation, scenario that you think is more favorable to you. That alone is a freaking mind trick in itself. In an effort to kind of remind myself of things that I've seen in Anderson, I watched some more videos today after that post, and like scenarios where people finally started recognizing that. Like, we watched Stephan Bonner get wrecked with it is one. I'm pretty sure Stephan Bonner got finished with Anderson just hanging off with his back on the cage. But then later on, you get to see people like Michael Bisping and Israel Adesanya recognize when he's doing that and refuse to engage. They literally backed away and made Anderson come to the center of the cage or come off the wall. This manipulation, it all works. It's hard to explain how it works in favor. That might be a whole nother video. I kind of want to do a whole series of Anderson videos. But if we think of it simple with the scenario backing against the cage, when Anderson backs against the cage, what do all the fighters do, including Israel and Bisping? They immediately went forward. He's controlling what they do. The only issue with them going forward is he's not vulnerable. He's alert and he knows. So he's anticipating their next move, and he already knows it, and he knows what he's going to do when they make their move. Or better yet, he's looking for what opportunity presents itself when they make their move. That's what I mean by manipulation. Something else that Anderson would do that I really want to talk to him and get this confirmation. If you train with me, you watch my video, you know how much I talk about vision and how much eyes matter. Something that was mind-boggling when I found my eyes for myself in fighting, and I really started trying to spread it to my team around me and people around me to make them better fighters. You go back and watch Anderson, and he stares at people's feet a lot. There is a comfort that comes with non-eye contact. Like, looking someone in the eye is challenging, especially in a fight. Some of the toughest, baddest men I know, when I'd spar with them, they couldn't keep eye contact with me. Not because I'm intimidating or I'm tough or anything. I'm even going light in sparring, and they're going light in sparring, and they're very capable of going my level or better. It's just an uncomfortable thing, just like anything else, until you've practiced it. But you have to be able to, like, see what you want to hit. You know what I mean? So when Anderson is looking at people's feet and staring at their chest, he is giving them a communication that they are receiving that they don't even realize they're receiving. So I started doing this to people. When I would make eye contact with people, or they could tell I'm staring at their face or their chin, I would immediately see a shift in a 2-inch increase in our range from each other. It's like they could immediately tell my striking is about to change because I'm looking for the headshot. So if I want to get in close and then catch them with a flurry of headshots, I look down at their chest. Or if I want them to get comfortable or whatever, I'm not going to, like, when I train new people or people are training with me, I spend more time looking at their chest or their feet so that they can build the comfort of looking at my face without me staring back at them. No one realizes this when it's going on. Like, we just go through these motions and everything. Anderson's taunts or whatever with like Chris Weidman, the slipping and everything, that same slip that he did and got caught by Weidman is the same slip that he knocked Forrest Griffin out with. So when I would see these comments about, oh, that's what he gets for showboating, if your comment or your outlook on that is that he was showboating and it cost him the fight, then showboating won him, what, 16 fights prior to that in half or more, some of the most spectacular fashions we've ever seen still today. I'm not saying it's not showboating, because taunting is a real thing, and taunting is something that, to be honest with you, I feel like it needs to be practiced and it needs to be trained. Our mindset controls so much of what we do. So when we are authentically taunting and feeling in a zone, it can really bring out the best of us. But you got to be careful too, because you'll see the opposite end. You'll see people trying to taunt and they're not confident. They're trying to like have a false confidence, and that doesn't usually work. So there's an authenticity to it that has to be found. But all right, I'm going on 11 minutes. I think that was some good insight. I need to play this back. I don't know if I'll get it uploaded today. Like I said, I got to work tonight. I had a little time beforehand. But yeah, Anderson Silva is the master of manipulation. I should get credit for that nickname. And what I mean by that is he was able to control what his opponents did, in the sense that they wouldn't realize he's controlling what they're doing, because they're acting off what they see or what they feel, and he could anticipate what was going to happen. So if you know they're going to move to the left, you're the step ahead of them, if that makes any sense. That's where I'm going to end it. Master manipulation, greatest fighter of all time, Anderson Silva. Don't say showboated too much. You just didn't understand what he's doing with his fighting. He was amazing.